Hi there, everybody. I was really inspired by the variety that I saw in the first round of maps that you produced. This is really interesting data. It's changing all the time. NASA GISS is updating their model constantly, so the results are changing all the time as well. They're getting more refined and hopefully more accurate. But it's really interesting to see the different kinds of annotations that you made on your maps, the variability in the legends, in the way these were treated with the different sizes, the different min-maxes, the different ways you described what was going on. I love turning it sideways and including units that we have a pretty quick grasp of what's going on. I do find it really difficult to explain that this is a global average anomaly, so a difference in temperature between this 30-year period and the base period of 1881 to 1910. So in the second one, this more recent one, this is 100 years later, and if you take a 30-year average, 100 years apart, this is how much warmer the surface is in these places or cooler than in this original base period. It's a little challenging, I think, to describe that on a map really articulately, and it's difficult to draw attention to the fact that this is, I think these are, oh no, this is right. Yeah, so this is the later time period, sorry. But it's hard to obviously draw, I think, attention to the fact that it's an earlier and later period. The 30-year average is a little bit odd. It's just a lot of stuff to put on a map that makes it a little bit more challenging to read. Setting 0 to that, I hadn't seen this one, that's fabulous. The 0 being set to the diverging color I think is really important. But even then, I think there is a lot that we can do. 0 is yellow, and that's already implicitly warm looking. Maybe 0 should be a white color. So I was inspired to do a little screwing around with this. And the first thing I did is I just kind of took someone's map. I apologize for that, but it was quick and easy. I just grabbed the color ramps. I threw it all in PowerPoint. I just started cutting and pasting. I switched the ramps. I lined them up so that the diverging midpoint is aligned, and then tried to demonstrate that in the earlier time period we had places that were a little cooler than the earlier time period, the baseline, and in places we were warming up to 2.7 degrees Celsius warmer than that baseline period. But in the later time period, that high, the positive deviation, the warming deviation, had increased to 3.8 in some places. And there are places that aren't as cool as they used to be from 1951 to 1980. So between using small text to try and reinforce that, to use text to try and reinforce that we're seeing warming over time, trying to reinforce that it's a global average against these baseline the baseline period of 1880 to 1910, it's tricky. I hear this. So the second thing I tried to do is create one scale bar, and apologize because I basically was cutting and pasting a bunch of stuff together, so it looks a little shoddy. But the idea is, if our baseline, if what we're talking about is an anomaly from that baseline period, I went ahead and labeled 0, 1880 to 1910, and then tried to represent that we've got a maximum of 2.8 in places on the globe had warming in this earlier time period, and then the later time period up to 4.1 degrees Celsius warming in some places. Now these are a little bit made up. I was kind of taking from different model runs, but you get the general idea. I don't know that this is effective, and I don't know that it's even correct. I think it would require a lot more explanatory text or annotations to go along with this to make this make sense. In particular, you don't want people left with the idea that the Earth is 4.1 degrees cooler on average, that this is only certain places on the map. And that's why I created this second thing that summarizes that between these two periods of time, we globally see a 0.96 degrees Celsius increase on average. And so this is a different thing. This is the total number, like the average increase from the baseline period that we've seen in the last, a little bit over 100 years. So this isn't obviously expected. I throw it out there just because I know a lot of you are working really hard on this. and really pushing past the example that I gave and trying to make sense of it. I am going to record a second video where I'm going to demonstrate bringing in the .NET-CDF files, saving them as layer files so you can work with them again later, but how to align the two color ramps so that the same color of red is representing the same value. And I did a demonstration video using elevation data, but it's a little different when you're working with these color ramps. So I want to show you that, and then I will, I had one more thing. I'll fill you in when I make the next video. All right, thank you.